my mom in the back for infidelity. So from that day forward, I vowed that I would never cheat on my partner.
That's deep. That's deep.
He could have killed my mom.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But he was enraged. He's like, I do all this. My mom, when I tell you her closet used to be crazy. My mom, her designer was crazy. My daddy took care of her. So for him to find out about infidelity, I mean,
yeah.
And my dad he was in the Navy. He's in the Army.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
it was just probably one of those situations where she just needed some.
My father shot my mom in the back.
Shalom. First and foremost, honor of all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakahakudash, double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who ruled well and taught me this truth, peace, blessings, salutations, and mercies to the elect. And the 1/3 women out there listening and doing his word with all faith and sincerity, scattered amongst the nations and the four corners of the earth. To you, I say shalom. Lord willing, this video is edifying. It's going to be sent around. Now what you see on the screen. Video, is a woman telling why she's faithful, right? And she goes back to her witnessing pretty much the law of Yahweh Shema Shai being enacted. And it put fear in her. And it made her tremble. Right? And she understood. And her behavior was forever corrected. Right? Because of what she witnessed. Okay. Now, I don't think her mother died from this incident, but according to the law, she would have been put to death. And it's the spirit, because that old mentality is making its way back onto the earth, all through the spirit. Because you say this to most people, especially women. You go into the laws of Moses, and people can't really stomach it. But she, even being a child, when she witnessed it, she understood perfectly. That her mom was wrong, and her father was righteous for what he did. She's not talking bad about him, right? If anything, she takes his side, right? And this spirit is only going to continue to grow on the earth, man. And it's beautiful, right? And this is the reason why we have the law. This is the purpose for it, right? So these incidents won't continue to happen because people will be in fear of the consequence of what happens if you are found guilty of these heinous acts. And adultery is a heinous crime, right? And it should be treated as that way. But in this society, it's been, mitigated, right? We've been taught and told that, there's ways around it, right? Maybe you should have listened to her. You know, if you would have did your job as a man, you know, then you wouldn't be here. She just felt, you know, alone. She was in a bad place. All these excuses that they make for women these days to be whores. This is Leviticus 20:10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. Right. And when you read this, it clearly explains what adultery is. It's not having more than one woman. Contrary to popular belief, they'll tell you, well, that means you're supposed to just have one wife. No, it doesn't. Okay, adultery is when you deal with a married woman. If the woman is not betrothed or married, then she's fair game. Doesn't matter how many women a man decides to take, as long as he, give his due benevolence to them. Right? That's all that matters. Right? And that's another thing, the whole meaning of adultery has been lost throughout time. Right? You got guys out here who feel bad for looking at, other women outside of their wife, man. Out here with a guilty conscience because you got a side bitch. There's nothing wrong with that. But if your wife had an affair, or you call her talking or entertaining other men, leave that bitch, man. Because in the ancient world, you'd have to put her to death, right? You'd have to put her down. So if you can't leave her, you damn sure ain't in the right spirit, And that's the most disrespectful thing a woman can do is play in your face like that. It should enrage you. It should enrage you. It shouldn't be no trying to understand that. It ain't no way you could convince me that a woman committing adultery is in any way right. This is man, where's that scripture? I forget. It's Proverbs 6 and 27. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent. Right? Because a man, when he finds out, here we go, verse 34. When he finds out that his wife is being adulterous, and he finds out that the man, about the man, he's enraged. He's enraged all across the board. A lot of the times, He blacks out. And all he sees is red. This verse 34, for jealousy is the rage of man. Therefore, he will not spare in a day of vengeance. And it's not in the law for him to spare. It's in the law for him to enact that punishment and for everyone to see it. Right. And once it's known, then that fear should be put away. This is Deuteronomy 21 and 21. And all the men of the city shall stone him with stones. This isn't talking about adultery per se. But the point is, you know what it is. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones that he die. So shalt that evil, or so shalt thou put away evil, or so shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel hear and fear. See? That's the reason, to put the evil away and for Israel to hear and fear and not be moved to do the same thing. That's the whole purpose, and it sounds brutal, but it's righteous. There are crimes in this society where people agree that that person should not, or there's crimes in this country where you commit and it's punishable by death. Things like murder, right? Capital murder, and such. Usually something to deal with stuff like that. They give you the death penalty for it if the state has the law for it, right? So how much more, the Lord? According to the scriptures, there are things in which require blood. And adultery is one. Okay, and it is righteous. All right. This is Jeremiah 9 and 24. But let him that glorieth glory in this, that he hath understanding, or that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So the Lord delights in loving kindness, judgment, righteousness, and he loves to do them all. Okay. And pretty soon the earth will be returned back to that spirit. It's not going to be no more, rampant adultery, because that's what this society practices, man. And that's a big reason for a lot of the problems that you see in this hellhole, man. Okay. In the kingdom of heaven, women going to be back in their place, and it ain't going to be no adultery. All right. That's going to be put back in a category of heinous crimes like it should be, along with being a homosexual. Right. These things will be, they will be revered like they once was. Right. And you see the results of it. The result is, a righteous understanding. And with honor, give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Shem Rakakwadash, Wa Abba and DTA DTN.